Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well, and we are back with another book unboxing haul and also merch haul and also new additions to the library haul. So I hope you're excited because I sure am excited because we have a lot of boxes to open up, a lot of bags to open up, and a lot of books to go through that I've added to my library since my last book haul. I have two piles here of books that are already unboxed because either they came in a box with stuff that I needed, so I had to open it, or I previously opened it because I really wanted to read that book in that moment. So there's a lot of reasons why these aren't in boxes, but they are new since the last book haul. So without further ado, let's get into the book haul. So the first book on here that I have is Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. I think this author's name is Katie Sikatali-Kook, but I could be saying that wrong. I'm very likely mispronouncing her name. And this was the $5 edition at the Barnes & Noble Cafe, so I picked it up because it looks so cute and it's got like total fall vibes. I really love this cover. It's got really cute sprayed edges of like fall foliage, and I just thought this would be a really fast, cute read to get you into like the fall spirit. And it also has like really large font and a lot of spacing between the words, so I think this is going to be a really fast read. And I believe this follows two characters who have competing coffee shops like next door to each other or across the street or something like that. I read the back of the book when I was in the store, but I don't really remember what it said. So this is the first one that we got, Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. It's adorable, it's orange, it's giving fall, it's shiny. I'm obsessed. Next I have, and this one I already read, but we have The Summer We Ran by Audrey Ingram. I picked this one up at Barnes as well because I think I saw Sarah talk about it and it sounded like a really interesting concept. And also, I think this may have been a book of the month option at some point. I don't remember what month, but I did pick up the paperback of this because it sounded interesting and I really liked the cover of it, and I haven't read this author before. So you will hear my final thoughts on this in my September wrap-up. Next, we have another one from Barnes, and this is I Got Abducted by Aliens and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com by Kimberly Lemming. Okay, this one, honestly, my husband saw this at the bookstore and he liked the cover and he liked the title. He's like, oh, you should read this. This sounds fun. So that's why I bought it. But it does actually sound fun. And her titles are so funny because I think the next book in the series, like the title is something about like eating a love potion at a werewolf. I don't really know, but that sounds like a really good fall read. So I think I'll try to get to this one maybe in September and pick up that one for like October, November, because that sounds like a fun little paranormal book to read in the fall. But I just thought her titles are just so funny. And then the next one I got, I think I purchased this one in July already, so I did read it. This is Rook and Rebel by Kate Crew. I bought this at the bookstore, but it's actually getting republished, so it's not going to be available again until January. But this is like a dark rom-com. It was really fun, kind of funny, and you could check out my review on this one in my, I think it's like May, June, July reading wrap-up. Next, I got the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas to match the other two exclusive editions of this series. I want to have like the entire series all in like these matching covers because I love them. I love that there's no title on the cover here and it's only on the spine. I think these covers are so beautiful. I'm obsessed with them. This one wasn't my favorite in the series. I have already read this last year, but this one wasn't my favorite in the series, but the first two books I absolutely loved, and I will definitely be continuing the series if ever it does continue, but I will be wanting to collect the Barnes & Noble exclusives of it as well. So this arrived when it came out. I think it was a few months ago. I think it honestly came out just like a couple weeks after I posted my last book haul. So you probably already saw this on my shelves, but I just wanted to share it in this since, again, it's new editions since the last book haul. Next, I have Shards of Desire by R.L. Calder, and this is the first book in the Dragons of Sin series, and this one I also already read. This one was recommended by some of the girls at my local bookstore, and as like a good, fun dragon fantasy. You can see my full review of this in my August wrap-up, but this was very similar to like Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling, so if you like that vibe, this is probably a good one to pick up. And I really like this cover. It's not really giving much, but it's got really cool snowflakes on it and dragon scales, and this would actually be a really good winter read, a really good fantasy for the winter, so I would recommend it for that. Next, we have Double Pucked by Lauren Blakely, which you have seen in my Blind Date with a Book unboxing video, and this is a Why Choose Hockey romance. Also very short. It has a little map in the front. How cute is that? And this is also a new author to me. So this was interesting interesting, but you can check out my blind dates video for the full review. And then the next one I have is Bourbon and Lies by Victoria Wilder, which is also from the blind dates video, because this is actually the one that was sent to me in Flutter's Blind Date with a Book subscription box. Also check out that video for detailed thoughts on that. And I think the cover of this is so stunning. I love the cover art here. The cover illustration on this is actually done by Loney Carr, the Whiskey Ginger, and I think her art is so beautiful. I think she's done a few other covers that I saw at the bookstore. I'm not really sure if I have them or not, but I think her covers are just so gorgeous. I love the color scheme of these. I love the look of it. It's just so beautiful. The next one I have is also another one that was like at Barnes at the register where they recommended it to me, and I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll get this. And that is Coffee Shop in an Alternate Universe by C.B. Lee. And this just looked so cute. This could potentially be set in the summer because I think I got this in August. It just looks really cute and cozy, so I picked this up because the people who work there actually recommended it. So that's the next one I got. Next we have Grin and Beard It by Penny Reed, and this is the second book in the Winston Brothers series. This is like a series following a bunch of guys with beards, or like a whole family with beards, and this is her re-release in the new covers with the sprayed edges. I still haven't read the first one, but I did end up picking up the second one, and it just follows a whole family of brothers that have beards, and this is like their family portrait right here. I think it's so cute. And then the last one in this pile, we have Never Been Shipped by Alicia Thompson. This one I also included in my wrap-up already because I did read it. I did meet Alicia Thompson. She was in town for a book signing specifically for this book. It came with a little picture. You saw this in my wrap-up. She signed the book, and I really liked this book, and I really liked meeting Alicia Thompson. Now we can start with the second pile of new editions. The first one I have here is Gloves Off by Stephanie Archer, and I think this is the UK paperback because this series got picked up for traditional publishing, so now the books are a little bit smaller than the first three that I have, which are indie published. Unfortunately, I couldn't find an indie published version of it. I don't think she's coming out with it at all. I think it's only coming out with just the trad published ones, but I did notice that the UK edition had the blue spine, which actually matches the other spines, even though it's shorter than the other books, which is kind of annoying, but what can you do? This is the UK publisher, which is Orion. If you guys know if she did come out with like an indie version of this as well, just to match the rest of this series, please let me know because I will buy it. But as far as I know, I'm not really aware of her doing that because I did look everywhere for it and I just couldn't find it. So I ended up going with this one. Next, we have Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer, and she was also in town at Book People for a book signing. So I did get this one signed and the first two books in the series. This is the third book in the Assistant to the Villain series. I'm not sure if the series has a different name, but this is the third one. I read Assistant to the Villain. I loved it. I read Apprentice to the Villain, also loved it. So I'm very excited to read this one, and I'm very happy that I got to meet her. She is really, really funny in person, and she had like a really good stage presence. So if you ever get a chance to see Hannah Nicole Mayer in person, definitely take advantage of that because she's great. Next up here, I have the special edition of The Love Hypothesis, which is actually going to be a movie. How exciting is that? I'm so excited for this. And the casting for this looks really, really good too. So I'm so happy for Ali Hazelwood for coming out with a movie. That's so exciting. That's amazing news. So I definitely picked up the special edition of this. And this is like the hardcover with the pretty sprayed edges. And this is what the naked cover looks like. It's yellow and it's got the name, and then this is the end paper, and the back is very similar. So that's so cute. She was actually moderating the event with Alicia Thompson, and she did end up signing this book for me, which is amazing. I absolutely love her, and I cannot wait for the movie. Then we have another one that I already read, but still a new addition to the library, which is Older by Jennifer Hartman, and this is an age gap romance, and it was republished with these like pretty kind of like blue sprayed edges that are meant to resemble the water. You can see the full review of this in my August wrap-up. Next, we have another one that I also already read and is in my August wrap-up, and that is Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. And this is kind of like a historical pirate dark romance. The cover of this looked very intriguing, very interesting, and I don't think I've ever read a pirate romance before, so there's a first time for everything. So that's Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. Next, we have The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix, and this one I actually picked up in a book swap. This looked interesting. I love paranormal stuff, but this does look kind of like a paranormal summer book, and I didn't get to it this year, so I might wait until next year to read this, but I might just randomly pick it up at any time, you know, because I am a mood reader at heart. November 1996. Okay, so maybe this could be a fall read because it does take place in November, so maybe I will read it this fall, but the cover with the peaches, October 1996, August, July, May. So it looks like the dates go from like November through November, like throughout the entire year. So this actually could probably be read anytime, not necessarily seasonally. I might in fact read it this fall. Next, I have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, and this is the signed edition. I think all her first editions were signed editions. It just has like this little page in here with the signature. I think it's digitally printed. It doesn't look like it's actually written in, but this is the naked cover, has a little rose on it, and I did already read this in August. This is a sapphic vampire historical romance. I really, really loved it. This is another one by V.E. Schwab that I really, really loved. The first one I read by V.E. Schwab was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. That was amazing. Highly recommend that book as well. So of course I was going to read this one immediately when I got it. Okay, the next book I picked up was The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget Knightley, and I think this is Dramiel fanfic, which is Harry Potter fanfic, and this looked really, really interesting, and I think this is her debut novel. It's kind of like a fantasy enemies to lovers. It has a lot of really good blurbs on the back here by Ali Hazelwood, Rebecca Ross, Kristen Cicerelli, Julie Soto, and just like a bunch of other ones which are just raving about this book. So I thought this would be interesting to read. It's the first book in the Dearly Beloathed duology, so there's going to be a second book to this, but I'm very curious about this one and I'm excited to read it. Then we have On Wings of Blood by Briar Boylan, and this is supposed to be kind of like a vampire fantasy. It's the first book in the Bloodwing Academy, book 1, so it's kind of giving dark academia vampires. It's a new release. I think it just came out very, very recently, and I picked it up. I like the cover. I love the sprayed edges of this and the quote on the back. Is there anything in the inside? Nope. A pretty end paper. It looks like it has dragons. I think it's going to be vampires, and I think it's in a school setting, kind of like a dark academia thing. So of course I picked this one up. And then the last one in this pile is Julie Soto's Rose and Chains, which is another Harry Potter fanfic between Hermione and Draco, but obviously it's fanfic, so it's like following different characters. And I loved Julie Soto's books. I read all 3 of them at this point. She had Forget Me Not and Not Another Love Song, which are her romances, her adult romances. Absolutely love them. 5 stars. And then she just recently came out with The Thrashers over the summer, which is her young adult thriller. Really, really liked that one as well. And now she came out with Rose and Chains, which I'm super excited about. This book is absolutely stunning. I love the cover. I love the sprayed edges, and the naked cover actually has a title foiled onto it as well with this beautiful flower. So that's stunning. Very excited about this one. And that was the last one in the new editions that are already unboxed. So now maybe we could do merch next since they're on top of the pile here. I have a few pieces of merch that I picked up at different stores, different bookstores that I wanted to share with you as well because we love Bookish merch. So let's go through the bookmarks first. So the first thing I have on here is this bookmark. And honestly, I have no idea what it is. This was actually included in the book that I got in the book swap, but it's pictures of books by someone named Stephen J. Morris. I'm not familiar with this series, but it looks like it's a series, and it could be like a fantasy series. They look like they're elvish. It looks like fae and some monsters, but it's a pretty cute bookmark nonetheless. So we're keeping that. And then the next little bookmark I got at Barnes, and it just says, "Be happy." It's got little bees on it and a little tassel, and I thought this was so cute. So 2 bookmarks. Next at Barnes, I also picked up the Bookworm Dice Decider game. It's like these 2 wooden dice that basically tell you the genre to read and how to read the book, like whether you have to get it from the library, if you have to listen to it on audio or buy a new book and stuff like that. And I saw Allie from Just Allie Booktube channel use this in her last TBR video, I think in her September TBR video. So I immediately went to buy them because I thought they were so cute and I definitely want to use them in a video as well. Next, I ordered this sweatshirt. It's Forks, Washington, in honor of the Twilight 20th anniversary that's coming up. And I will definitely be ordering the special edition book of Twilight because Twilight is where my lore started. It is one of my favorite series of all time. So of course I wanted to get some merch for it, and I'm definitely going to get the special edition. But this is the sweatshirt that I ordered from an Etsy shop. I'll link it down below. And it just says Forks, Washington, and it's embroidered. I just thought it was so cute and definitely appropriate for this year. Next, I picked up a book sleeve on Amazon, and I just thought this one was really, really pretty, and I needed a book sleeve. So this one says Born to Read, Forced to Work, and it's just this girl crying because she's forced to work, and it just says pages over paychecks here on this little book stack. I thought it was so cute. It has a little pocket right here for your Kindle or something smaller, and a zippered pocket for your larger books. And this will fit a hardcover book. So I definitely needed one of these, and I got this one because I love the color scheme. And then the last thing I got, it's not really bookish, but I did buy this at Book People, which is a bookstore here in Austin. And it is this Austin map tote. You can never have too many totes, and I thought this one was so cute because it has all the little Austin neighborhoods on it and the Colorado River going through it, which I absolutely love. So it's also in this kind of like denim material, and it's just very, very cute. So that's the last piece of merch. Now we can get into the unboxing. Let's start with this first little one. This one is pretty taped up. Whoever packed this up did a very good job. There we go. Okay, this is Rootbound by Tara DeWitt, and I just recently read Savor It and Left of Forever, and Left of Forever is like one of my top reads of the year. I love that book. It was 6 stars, so I said I was going to read her entire backlist, and this is the first one I ordered from her backlist. I don't know when this was published, but this looks like a pretty old book. This one's a little bit yellowed. I found it on Amazon. This is 2021, so not that old, but I did actually see that she is republishing this in 2027, but I didn't want to wait for the new cover to come out. This one is a little bit smaller than like the regular sized paperbacks, so I will probably be rebuying this in 2027, but I definitely wanted to read it a lot sooner than that, and I'll probably just give this one away at some point. But I'm very excited to read this because she's one of my new favorite authors. Next, we have something here. This one needs to be cut. Probably should have gotten better scissors for this. This one is from Barnes. And here we have The Deathless One. Whoops. The Deathless One by Emma Hamm. And I saw this at the bookstore, but I ended up ordering it online for whatever reason, and I think it's really, really cute. It has really pretty green sprayed edges, and the cover feels a little bit different than like most books, but this is an Enemies to Lovers, Shadow Daddies, and Feminine Rage, and I hear really good reviews about this one. It looks pretty short, and it looks like a fast read, and I definitely want to get to it this fall. Next, we have another Barnes in a bag. Ooh. We have Silver Cloak by L.K. Stephen, the signed copy. I saw this at the bookstore and I wanted it, but I also wanted the signed copy, and they didn't have the signed copy at the actual bookstore, so I had to order it online. But here's the signature of this book. And this is by the same author as Our Infinite Faiths, which is Laura Stephen, this one, and I absolutely love this book. This was a 5-star read for me. It was a YA fantasy, but this one is supposed to be adult, and it just has embossing on the naked cover right there. You could see that in the light. And it has a map on the end paper, which is really beautiful and colorful. I love that. And the same map on the back. So I'm really excited about this one. I'll definitely be reading this one this fall as well because I absolutely loved the other book by Laura Stevens. Next, we have a box also from Barnes. So this must be a pre-order of some sort. What do we have here? Ooh, okay. We can see what this is. We have Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. This is the 3rd book in the Lakefront Billionaire series. It was just published, I think, last month or something. I loved the first one of this series. The second one was just okay. So I am excited for this 3rd one. This one's actually much thinner than the first 2, if you could believe that. But I'm very excited for this one. This one follows Lorenzo and Lily. I love Lauren Asher books. It's been a while since I read her books, so I'm very excited for this one. All right, next we have this Amazon box. All right. What do we have in here? Ooh. The Charlie Method by L. Kennedy. This is the third book, I think, in Briar You, maybe? No idea what this series is called, but it follows the Graham Effect and the Dixon Rule. I read the Graham Effect. I really, really liked it. I have not read the Dixon Rule yet, but I did order this one anyways because I will continue the series because that's just my obsession. So I, of course, got the third one. We also have one more in here. Oh, we have two more in here. So then we also have Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley. And I think this is kind of like a music one where it follows people who make music or something. But I hear really, really good things. So I'm also excited for this one. And I don't know if I'll read it this fall. Maybe I'll wait till like end of the year, maybe like January or something. But I definitely want to read this soon. And then the third one in here, I have Slewfoot by Brom. That's it for that box. I have Slewfoot by Brom, and this is kind of like a horror. Ugh, that's creepy. This is supposed to be a horror book, and I thought this would be really good to try for spooky season. I don't know. I might be too scared to read this in all honesty, but I bought it anyways just to see if I can try. Also, I really liked the cover, like in the sense that it's like much wider than most books. And I know there's a picture in here I don't want to see, but it does have like colorful illustrations in it. There it is. And they're just like super creepy. And I heard that the author did these illustrations themselves, but they are so freaking creepy. Look at that. Don't look if you're creeped out. These are so freaking creepy. Ugh. This might be an experience. We'll see how we do with this, but it's kind of like witches, and I think it's set in the past, like a long time in the past. Let me see if I can find a date. Ooh, these are so creepy, these pictures. I scare easily, so I don't know if this was a good idea. 1666. So this is set in 1666, and it's about witches, and it's supposed to be really creepy and scary. So we shall see, but that's the next one I got. Next, we have Amazon. My scissors. Give it a cut. Here. What's in here? Ooh. Snowed In by Navisa Allen. Navisa or Navessa, I'm not really sure. But she's the dark rom-com author of Lights Out and Caught Up, and there's a third book in that series coming out. So she came out with like a Christmas one, or at least a winter one. So of course I had to get it because I loved Lights Out, and this looks so cute. So this is a winter in Maine with an ex-football star who needs a break from fame and notoriety. This is an adult contemporary romance with themes of grief and illness. And there's a short list of content warnings on here. So that's interesting. I'm very excited to read this one as well. And I'll definitely be reading this either in December or January, probably December or something like that. Next we have, this has a pull tab. All right, what do we have in here? My Favorite Bad Decision by Elizabeth O'Rourke. Okay, this is a summer book, so I should have unboxed this sooner, but I didn't. And I hear really, really good things about this one. I hear it's really, really good. It has really good reviews, so I wanted to get this. The second book in this series is already out as well, which I still have to order, but the cover of this is really, really beautiful. I think they're supposed to be climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, and maybe it's with her ex, I'm not sure, but it's supposed to be really good. I love the cover of this. It's very short. Maybe I'll still be able to read this year, but if not, I'll just wait till next year. It's not a big deal. Next, we have Amazon, even though this looks like Barnes. This is Amazon. You got it. Oh. Loving a Vampire is Total Chaos by Aura Hayes. My friend recommended this book to me. She said it was actually really good and funny. This is the deluxe edition, which has little illustrations on it. There are two versions of this book, one that does not have the pictures and one that does. And I definitely wanted to make sure that I get the one with the pictures because they're so cute. Very, very beautiful. Here's another one on the back cover. Is there one on the front cover? Yes, I think that's the guy. Yeah, I have no idea what it's about, but it has vampires. Okay, Loving a Vampire is Total Chaos features a sunshine vampire MMC who's a serial killer. On-page gore, but we promise Sav only kills the worst of the worst. Okay, that's not too bad. It looks like it might be a little bit humorous and just like a fun paranormal read for the season, so I'm very excited about this one. Next, we have another Amazon. This one is hard to open usually. See, because it does that. Okay. Oh. I see gold. Yes. We have Arcana Academy by Elise Kova, and I ordered this because I'm hearing amazing things about this book. Everybody's reading it. I want to read it as well, and I think this is a dark academia fantasy, and I wanted this really pretty edition with the gold sprayed edges, which are stunning. Let's see what else we have. We have an end paper. This is upside down. It's actually this way, but we have an end paper, and we have a foiled naked cover. Same end paper, nothing on the back cover. And there is a map. And this is the first book in the Arcana Academy series, and there is definitely going to be a second one because it's listed here as Arcana Academy Book 2. This author has actually written a lot of books. There's like a whole list of books on here that she's written. I haven't read any of them. This is going to be my first book by this author, but I'm very excited because I'm hearing really, really good things. We have another Amazon. This one is going to be hard to open because the label's on it. All right. What's this? Oh, we have The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia. This is supposed to be scary. This is another scary one that I am kind of regretting my choices here, but it's another scary one. I saw somebody read this. Was it Larry? I think maybe it was Larry. And I think she liked it. And I think that's when I ordered it. So this is set in Victorian London. Amidst the gaslit alleys and cobblestone streets of Victorian London, two killers find themselves entangled in a waltz they can't escape. Alina Liss, a botanist and hobbyist poisoner, has a pastime of killing unsavory men in her own twisted sense of poetic justice when she targets the conceited playboy Silas Forbes, only to find him in her apothecary the following week. She discovers human men are the least of her problems. The pair's unlikely association sparks gossip among affluent society. As their mysterious bond deepens, a chilling truth emerges. Concealed identities, lurking foes, and questions are plentiful as the Hydra's head brew within this haunting gothic tale of violent passion. Will Silas and Alina find themselves in each other's arms, or will the shadows of their past keep them apart? So that's interesting. I guess she owns an apothecary and sells poisons, and she's a serial killer. So that's this one. I got this for spooky season this fall, so hopefully I will be able to read it this year. And we have our last box, and this is Amazon. Just a moment. I think we have only one in here, and that is Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. And I hear good things about this. I think this was one that Haley was reading, and she liked it, and it sounded really interesting. So they live on a tiny island not far from Antarctica. I think this is a general fiction and not a romance, but it looked interesting, and it got good reviews, so I ordered it. Nothing on the blank cover. This is not a special edition or anything, but that's the next one. We got Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. So we're done with the boxes. Let's move on to the bags. I went to Book People. This is when I went to see Hannah Nicole Meyer. I ended up picking up a couple more books when I was at the store, and the first one in here is this one, which is Warrior Princess Assassin by Bridget Kemmer. I think my friend recommended this one because it's getting good reviews. This author normally writes young adult, but this is her adult romantasy debut, so I was intrigued, and I just thought it was a pretty cover with pretty sprayed edges and a pretty end paper. And this is actually the signed edition as well. So I picked it up at Book People, but I really have no idea what this is about. I guess we'll find out when we read it. So that's the next one I got here. And the other one I got at Book People is If Not For My Baby by Kate Golden. And this is getting really, really good reviews as like one of the best romances or something like that. It's supposed to be based on Hoosier, the singer or rock star or something like that. I don't really know him, but I guess I'll look him up before I read this book. But it's supposed to be a really, really good romance. Also, I really like the cover. Next, we have Flutter, and in here I have The Curse That Binds by Laura Thalassa. This is the third book in the Bewitched series. This is technically the prequel, but it is the new release, and you are supposed to read it third, I guess. I loved Bewitched and Bespelled, so of course I'm going to be reading this one, and I'm very, very excited to read it. I'm definitely going to be reading it very, very soon, and this is like the deluxe edition that she just came out with these beautiful sprayed edges. I'm obsessed and I love her. So I will be reading this very, very soon. And then also in here, I have In Flight by R.K. Lilly. And this is supposed to be about a flight attendant. It's the first book in the Up in the Air series. And this was recommended by the Bookstore. And it's supposed to be kind of like a billionaire romance, I think. So it sounded interesting. So I also picked that one up. That's it for this one. 2 bags left, you guys. Next from Flutter, I have 3 in here. So all 3 of these are a series by Hilary Raymer. I'm not sure which one is first. I think this is the first one. This is the Faven Saga. So the first book in this is Crown of Roses. And I really, really love these covers. They are absolutely stunning. And we also have Realm of Nightmares. I don't know if this is second or third or what. And then we have Throne of Dreams. Also don't know the order of this, but I loved these covers, and the bookstore had signed editions of these, and it sounded really, really interesting when I read the synopsis of the first one. They're all signed, I think. Yeah, they are all signed. But it's a romantasy, enemies to lovers, I think adult, so I was intrigued, and I decided to get all 3 of them. There is a 4th book as well that they didn't have in store, so I'm definitely gonna have to order that, but I ended up getting the first 3 books in this series. And then our final bag from Flutter, we have 1 book in here and a hat. We have Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nacasta. This is a monster romance, and one of my friends read this and loved it. I think it's another one where the monster guy is kind of like a golden retriever, I think. I'm not sure. But she really, really loved this, so of course I bought it. I saw it at the bookstore, so I picked it up. And it's supposed to be a really, really funny one, so I'm very excited to read this. I definitely want to read this soon. And then the last item we have in here is a hat, and it just says Bookish Girly, and it's denim, and it has a little bow in the back, and it's embroidered, and I thought it was really, really cute. And I am just loving hats right now, so I picked up another piece of merch. That goes in the merch pile, but that's all I have from this bag as well. Hi guys, so it's actually been a couple of days, and I got a few more packages that I wanted to add to this haul, so got those up here. Not too many left to go, but there's also 3 more books over here that I forgot to include in the new editions portion of the video, so I'll go through these really quickly as well. So the first one on here is Caught Up by Navisa Allen. This is the 2nd book in the Into Darkness connected standalone series. It's the 2nd book after Lights Out. This has been on my TBR cart. I think it was maybe for August, but I still have not read this yet. So that's another new addition to the library that I forgot to mention in the last section. And then the other 2 are The Throne of Broken Gods by Amber V. Nicole and The Dawn of the Cursed Queen by Amber V. Nicole. So these are book 2 and book 3 in the Gods and Monsters series after the Book of Azrael. These have been sitting on my shelf for a while now. I just forgot to add them. And now let's get into the new unboxing. I have a few Amazon orders. I went to Barnes one more time, and I went to Flutter one more time, and a few more deliveries to unbox. So let's get started with the bags. This one's from Flutter, and in here I have Under Your Scars by Ariel N. Anderson, and this is a dark romance that was recommended by one of the people that works there. However, it also came with a caveat because the ending of this is not very, very good, and there is actually like a very short novella that comes after that called Delilah, I believe. So I will definitely also be reading the novella after I read this, but I'm told that this book will emotionally wreck you, and it's like one of the craziest dark romances that you could read, but it is one of the ladies that works there. It's like one of her favorite books. So I picked this one up, and then also I got A Hunger Like No Other by Cressley Cole, and this was a friend's recommendation. I believe this is a vampire one, vampire werewolf fated mates kind of situation, and I think this is a pretty long series, but this is just the first book in that series. Not 100% sure what the series is called, but she told me vampires, werewolves, fated mates. I was like, say no more. And I bought the book. Also, Allie Hazelwood blurbed this in the front, so that's very exciting. That's it for Flutter. Then I went to Barnes and I picked up Direbound by Sable Sorensen. This is the first book in a series, the Wolves of Ruin series, and I just really liked this book and like how floppy it was, and I have seen other people read this and like this a lot. There is a 2nd book coming out next year called Furybound. That's here on the back corner, and I believe this is also coming out in like a special edition in a few months, but for some reason, for it being like a fantasy, I'm trying to get as many like fantasy in paperback as I could because this book is really, really chunky and really, really thick. So I just really liked the floppy nature of the paperback. Although I did hear something really cool about the special editions because there's going to be like a variety of naked covers for the special editions of this. So that will be interesting to see. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get one, but I am excited for the paperback. So that's what I picked up at Barnes. Now let's get into the envelopes. So we have our first one. I think I have an idea of what this is, but I'm not sure. Let's see what that is. Ooh. Eldritch by Carrie Lake. This is the second book in Carrie Lake's The Eating Woods series. The first one is this one, which I think is called Anathema. This entire time I have been saying this as anathema, but I think I've heard somebody say it's anathema. So I don't actually know how to say this title of this book, but this is the first book. This is the second one. It just came out. I still have to read this. I think I'm going to try to read this for like October, November this year because the reviews for this book are really, really good. And I definitely want to get to this book this fall as well. All right. Next, we have the full tab. Let's see what's in here. Paper. All right. Ready for this? Oh, there's two in here. Okay. First one is Garnet Flats. I think this is number 4 in Devney Perry's Eden series. I definitely want to start this series this year. I probably won't finish this series this year, but I definitely want to start it. I loved her fantasy debut, Shield of Sparrows. That was like a 5-star read for me. So I definitely want to get into like her backlist a little bit because I think she's going to be an author that I really, really love. So I ordered Garnet Flats. I ordered the third one in here as well somewhere. But we also have Behooved by M. Stevenson. And this is supposed to be kind of like a unicorn fantasy situation, potentially unicorn shifter. I saw somebody read this on YouTube and they liked it, but I kept seeing this book in the bookstore and I kept wanting to get it. So then I just broke down and ordered it. And I'm actually pretty excited about reading this. So that's Behooved. It does have little pink sprayed edges, which I personally love. I love when they do sprayed edges, even if they're just like basic, simple sprayed edges. I think they're really, really fun and I like them. I know some people don't really love the sprayed edges. I personally like them though. So I'm really happy that this one has them. I think it's really, really cute. So that's the next one. Here we go. Okay, Jasper Vale. I think this is the third one in the Eden series. Let me just double check. No, I was wrong. This is the fourth one. Garnet Flats was the third one. So I have 4 now. I have Indigo Ridge, Juniper Hill, Jasper Vale, and Garnet Flats. There's still a few more in this series that I don't have. I'll probably order them soon, but I definitely want to get started on this series. All right. Last of the envelope. What do we have in here? Autumn of the Grimoire, the Sister Solstice series by J.L. Vampa. Someone was talking about this. I think it was Jessica from Peace Love Books, and she said this is a really, really good atmospheric fall read. This is a series, and there's like a few more books in the series, but I only got the first one so far, so I definitely want to read this fall because she said it's very atmospheric, amazing fall vibes, so another one I'm very excited about, and look at the cover of this. It's so gorgeous. All right, let's get into the final boxes. First one is Barnes. Got it. All right. We have People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. I'm so glad it finally came. I did really enjoy her other books that I read, Out on a Limb and Out of the Woods. Those are like interconnected standalones, I believe. And this is the third book of hers that I will now be reading. It totally looks like fall vibes and fall atmosphere and stuff like that. So I'm very excited for this one as well. And Abby Jimenez blurbed this one on the back and Lila Sage blurbed it on the front. So I bet this is going to be really, really good. Next one, we have Another Barnes. All right, what do we have in here? We have Wild Card by Elsie Silver. This is number 4 in the Rose Hill series. Very excited to read this. Now I think I'm going to read the entire series just kind of like back to back. That's what I did with Chestnut Springs, and I really enjoyed that because her books are so fast. I usually get through each of them in like 2 days time or like even 1 day's time because they're just like such fast reads. So I think that's how I'm going to read them. And now that this last book is here, I can finally do that. I'm very excited. Next one is also Barnes. Hopefully this pull tab is okay. Almost. Okay, here we go. Ready? Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. This is her new release fantasy. No idea what it's about. I just know I really, really love her writing. She's the author of Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. That was like a duology that I read. I think it was in 2023, end of 2023. And I really, really loved it. I loved the writing in it. That was like YA fantasy, but I really, really loved it nonetheless. It was amazing writing and it really evoked a lot of emotions while you read it. So I really, really loved that duology. The first book, Divine Rivals, more so than the second one. So I'm very excited for her new release. Next we have not Barnes, but I have a book of the month one. This is from the September selection, and I did order it because I wanted the little hat, and I chose the beige one because this one's like a corduroy material, and I thought that was so cute, and it says well read and the book of the month logo on the side here. So we have another little piece of merch to add to the pile. And then the book that I got was Heartbreak Hotel by Ellen O. Clover. And this just looked like another really good fall cozy read. I really liked the cover. It looks really sweet and wholesome, and I want to read it this fall. All right, 2 left to go. We have another Barnes. Okay. What do we have in here? We have Well Actually by Maisie Eddings. This is also her new release, and it's the one with the blue sprayed edges, which I love. And I've been hearing really, really good reviews for this book. I did read a book by her before. It was called The Plus One, and I did like it. I didn't love it, but I did like it. It was a cute little rom-com read, but I'm hearing really, really good things about this one, so I'm very excited for this one as well. And also Lila Sage blurbed this one, and so did Grace Riley, so that's exciting. And we have the final box, and this is also from Barnes. Let's do the final Barnes book. Okay. Got it. We have Overruled by Lana Ferguson. This is also her new release. I think it's kind of like a lawyer workplace romance or something. I think I've already read 4 of her books before. I've read The Nanny, The Fake Mate, Game Changer, and Under Lock and Key. So this is going to be number 5. I know she's coming out with another one, The Mating Game, I believe it's called, for Christmas time. So I did pre-order that as well because I do love her books. They're really, really fun, spicy reads. I think The Fake Mate was my favorite by her out of all of them, but I also really liked Under Lock and Key and The Nanny. I think The Game Changer was a little bit of a miss for me. So hoping for good things with this one, and that's the last one that we have to unbox in this video. So what I'm going to do next is put all the books up here so we can count them and everything that I've got, like all the little merch and everything and all the books that I got, and we will find out what the final number is. Okay, so I hope you can see that. I had to do 5 piles of them because they kept falling over because of course I'm doing this on the bed as always. But here's everything that we unboxed in this video. We have 2 hats, bookmarks, little dice game, book sleeve, tote bag, and the Forks sweatshirt for our merch. And for our books, let's count how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, we have 59 total books in today's book haul, plus all the merch, which I'm super excited about. I'm so happy with all the new purchases, and now all I have to do is find room on the bookshelves to fit them all, so that'll be a fun little project for me. If you've made it this far in the video, please leave me a book stack emoji because all we have is book stacks here, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.